Hey, what's up guys? Aaron Kubitz, personal trainer, functional aesthetic CC. So recently I've started, if some of you guys have watched my channel, I haven't talked about this a lot in the past, but for about a 10-year stretch I struggled a lot with digestive issues, and through dietary modifications I was actually able to manage my symptoms quite well and actually be able to function as a normal human being, but was not really being able to achieve my full athletic or mental potential that I felt that I needed to do. So I hired a functional medicine practitioner to help me fully eradicate the different bad gut bugs and bacteria and stuff that were living in my gut, so that I could eat a wider variety of foods and be able to function at my optimal level. So through this whole process though, I was reminded of something that I'd kind of forgotten about, that I'd done quite frequently in years past, but not so much in the frequent time, as I've been focusing more on my business and a little bit less on my athletic endeavors, just trying to maintain, as I've talked about in some of my other videos. So what I did, what I'm going to talk about today is carbohydrate cycling. So while I was working with this functional medicine gal, there were a lot of foods that I had intolerances to, so I had to cut them out and do an elimination diet. Now this forced me to change around my eat different foods, and so I was also forced to recalculate my macros, because a lot of these foods that I was eating, they had different macronutrient makeup than the new foods that I had to eat. So when I did this, initially I did not calculate it, I kind of just winged it, and ended up getting too high in the carbohydrate range, which for me personally, I don't function well if I get too many carbohydrates. I feel kind of sluggish, sleepy, and low energy and things like that. So I went about it and I recalculated the macros, upped my fats, dropped the carbs a little bit, and felt much better. Now what I found though was, after having all those carbs and then cutting back to a lower level, then when I do my weightlifting, I had way more energy, and also noticed some increase in my muscle growth as well from doing this. So this brought me back to what I had done years ago, which was carbohydrate cycling. Alright, so what carbohydrate cycling is, it is a methodology whereby you will have your regular macronutrients, so eating a balanced diet, and then slowly, over the course of a couple days or a few weeks, you gradually decrease your carbohydrate intake. And what this does is it allows you to go into a calorie deficit and also increase your insulin sensitivity, because you're taking in less carbohydrates, but you're still training, so your body has to work harder for the carbs that it gets. Therefore, you obtain more energy from those carbohydrates, and you absorb your nutrients better. So after a few weeks of doing that, then you can start climbing back up and start adding the carbs back in. And so typically the point where because there's not a set, some people say go for a week or this amount of days or something like that, but there's a really set point at which you do this. How I determine when I should start bumping the carbs back up is when my workout performance begins to decrease significantly, then I start gradually upping the carbs, and that allows me to stay lean year-round, while also gradually increasing my muscle mass, because I just undulate the carbs up and down, and as my muscle mass increases, I increase the total calories a little bit as well. Now, I haven't been trying to gain muscle mass in a while, because I'm pretty happy with the amount of muscle that I have. In the future, I might start this process again, but this is something that I did in the past. So I feel that too many people, when there's a new diet out there or something like that, they immediately hop on that to get those quick results. And oftentimes, not that I have anything against intermittent fasting or keto. In fact, I did practice intermittent fasting for probably between 6 and 8 years myself, and it actually works wonders. I actually did the OMAD diet, where I'd eat one meal a day, and that was more because of my schedule was extremely busy, and also because of the gut bugs that I was having. If I ate too much food, or especially carbohydrates, I'd have massive brain fog, and it would hurt my work performance. So I did that. So I have nothing against those, but I do think that people can get great results without having to go to such extreme measures. I think those should be a last resort. I think that doing keto or intermittent fasting should be your last resort, when you've tried all the other easier, less restrictive, less extreme dietary strategies, and then you can go and try that. So that's what basically carbohydrate cycling is. It allows you to get in that calorie deficit, but without completely going into ketosis. Allows you to increase your insulin sensitivity so that, as you're dropping the carbohydrates down, you're losing that fat, but you're also at the same time increasing your ability to absorb carbohydrates and stuff so that when you do start bumping them up again, you get even more energy from them. And it also allows, because of that higher insulin sensitivity, allows you to shuttle more amino acids and stuff into your muscle cells, meaning that you're going to be able to grow muscle a lot easier. This is another reason why people who are lean will be able to build muscle and lose fat better than somebody who has excess body fat. So always, before you start trying to bulk, try to get under 10% body fat before you start a bulk. Another thing that happens when people are trying to bulk is that, initially, especially if they're lean, to begin with, they'll initially start seeing some gains, and then it'll level off, and then they start feeling sluggish and things like that, and they have to take their pre-workout supplements and energy drinks and fat burners and things like that to get the energy to get through their workouts. When if you're doing the carbohydrate cycling and you're not always eating in the calorie surplus, you can avoid that entirely, and actually it'll be much better for your health as well. So the next thing I want to talk about here is what is the optimal strategy or workout strategy for while you are following a carbohydrate cycling protocol. Okay, so the optimal strategy to follow, workout strategy to follow when you're doing a carbohydrate cycling protocol is, and you can do a little bit of variation from this as well, but what I found for most people in the beginning works the best is when you're doing your high volume training. So training where you're working in the 10 to 15 repetition range, somewhere between there, and you're doing 3 to 4 sets per exercise. So more of that traditional bodybuilding style of working out. That is when you want to be having your higher carbohydrates and higher calories in general, because you're expending more energy. You need more carbohydrates to be able to fuel the higher volume of your workout. Now, when you go and do your, when your carbs start dipping down and you start having less energy to get through that high volume of stuff, that's when you start increasing the weight and decreasing your volume. So start adding more weight to the bar, and obviously then the volume is going to decrease, because with a heavier weight you can't lift as much. And because your carbohydrates have been depleted and getting lower, you're also going to have less chance of adding excess body fat from doing less workout volume. So in this way you can have the benefits of that mechanical overload, which is one of those mechanisms for increasing hypertrophy. There's about 5 different mechanisms. You have that metabolic stress, you have time under tension, which is probably the top one. You have the mechanical overload, which is breaking down those muscle fibers and stuff, and then breathlessness and a couple other ones. So this will help achieve that, so you will be able to further increase your muscle. Then when you start feeling like, okay, I'm just getting sluggish and stuff and everything, because you are not burning off as many calories and stuff as you are bumping up your carbohydrates, that's when you start increasing the volume of your workouts or starting to decrease the carbs as well again. So guys, I hope that this video made sense. Go ahead and give it a try and let me know how it's working for you. If you like the video, obviously leave me a thumbs up below. Help to grow the channel, helps with the metrics in the YouTube algorithm and stuff. And if you'd like to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe to my channel, Functional Aesthetics EC, and we'll see you all next time for more health and fitness related information. Thanks guys for watching. Talk to you later.